Welcome back to ciLiving. Let Me Fly is a brand new musical written and created by an Urbana native. Here to tell you all about the story and how you can see the show on stage are Cameron Cornell and Kirby Toalson. Welcome to ciLiving. Thank you for being here.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.
All right, so tell me a little bit about the plot of Let Me Fly.
Yeah, so Let Me Fly is the story of Sam, an autistic man who is telling the story looking back of how he was growing up, and when he was a kid he was actually non-speaking, non-verbal. And the story is about how he learned to communicate and connect using what's called an AAC, which people might be familiar with from TV or other media, where it's like a tablet that you can use touch to talk, and you'll touch a picture and it will say the word. And so the story is about him learning to communicate, and it's also about his family and growing up and what it was like on the family, raising a kid with high support needs.
And what was the inspiration for this story? Like, why did you decide that you wanted to share this with the community?
Yeah, so it's a story in a world that is very familiar to me because my wife and I have a child who is autistic and who is non-speaking. And it's a story that's just not really talked about much. And even when it maybe is brought up in the general public and media, it's oftentimes a problematic representation.
Sure.
And there can be a lot of stereotypes that get acted out. And so it's important to us that people with autism are represented in a way that's authentic and realistic and honoring as well.
Sure.
Of their personhood. And so it's not our story. This is not, I'm not George, my wife is not Emma, our
Sure.
kid is not Sam, but it is our world. It's one we're very familiar with. And so we wanted to tell the story, and that's how it started to come about.
Yeah, and who better to tell the story than someone that's actually living in that world and has those firsthand experiences. And then, Kirby, what has it been like working on a show with one of the writers being, because it's directed by your wife, right?
It is,
the co-writer.
yeah.
And so what has that been like, having somebody direct who also is the writer?
It's been terrible.
Right?
No, absolutely not. It is different. I think where you see differences occasionally, if we'll be in a scene, there's a moment where AJ will say, you know what, we're going to change this word, or I don't like how this duplicates. And so there are these live changes as you're going. The other thing is there's maybe a little bit more pressure to make sure that you're not ad-libbing in any way, shape, or form, because the writer is right there. And you want to make sure that you are giving justice to the words that were picked because they were chosen for a reason. And so I think those are probably the primary differences that I've seen.
And as an actor, what is it like completely creating a role 1000% from scratch, because no one obviously has ever seen or done or heard this music or this show before?
Yeah, it's wild. It's super special. I think it's a team activity. All of us actors come together and we talk about the background, we talk about maybe where are the motivations coming from, and then we bring our characters to life. So it's very organic, and it's really quite special. It's an opportunity that actors do not always have a chance to do, and so being able to have this honor, and I consider it that, is really exciting. Yeah, it's been fun.
And then where and when can people come and see the show?
Yeah, so we are performing in Danville at the Community College in Danville. It's what's called the Bremer Center. And it's going to be November 7th, 8th, and 9th. The 7th and 8th will be at 7 p.m. and then the 9th will be at 2 p.m. And what's lovely is we are able to make tickets very affordable. $10 general admission and $7 for students, seniors, and veterans.
Oh, that's amazing. So it's completely accessible to anyone in the community who wants to come out and see it.
Yeah, it's important to us. While we are telling a story about making the world more accessible, that we're trying to make this performance accessible. So it is wheelchair friendly, it is limited mobility friendly for our friends who are maybe needing that fall prevention education. And it's gonna be a great time. I will say there's some strong language, and so if you're in a 13, 14-year-old range, maybe parental guidance advised.
Okay, that's good to know.
But I think it is a show that most people are going to be able to enjoy.
Enjoy and relate to. Well, I would love to have a little bit of a sneak peek. So Kirby, you're going to perform for us, right?
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
Excellent. Well, be sure to stick around because we do have an exclusive sneak peek performance from Let Me Fly right after the break. ciLiving will continue in just a few minutes.